Midday in Paradise. I've been digging holes. The plan is to put a small retaining wall. I don't know if you can see the little black mark. Let's just walk over here. 40 centimeters down from here, straight back. That's just to hold the dirt and stuff back during the rainy season. All right, so what will happen is straight across from that line I just showed you, we'll come back to about where this shovel is. 40 centimeters down from the string will be the top of a pole. I'm going to buy a 1 meter pole, dig down, put a small concrete base, set the pole in there so the top of that is the same height as that string. And then we'll basically rebar it and pour concrete out to that pole. That pole will be the top of the retaining wall, run across to there. The only thing it is intended to do is to keep the dirt back during the rainy season, and it'll be the side of the driveway. When we pour a driveway in here, we will start at this pole here, and I should mention this pole will line up with the end of that wall. So we will just take concrete from the end of that little retaining wall down to the curb down there, across to here. So it'll just be solid concrete across here, both sides and the surface. So when it rains hard, this dirt won't wash out. Everything will have to come to the driveway and then down the concrete, and it won't wash the drive out. So once that slope is in down to here to these posts, when we get ready to put a gate in, all we got to do is pour a narrow curb with the rail on it down across this side of the fence. And then we'll put the gate on that. And then all we got to do is put fill on this side of that little curb, similar to what we got here now. I'll probably bring in some of this rock like this once I get ready, because this stuff compacts really well. It's kind of expensive. It's cheap rock. It's like 150 a load, but it's like 1,000 a load to go get it because it's a long ways away. But when you put it down and drive on it one time, it just smooths out nice and hard. So what I'll probably do when I get done is just bring in probably 2 loads again. I think I brought 4 loads last time. Bring in 2 loads and just do everything here that you see in dirt and whatever's left, cover out here. And then we'll be done back here for now. Eventually I'll pour probably a concrete pad up to where the truck is. All right, so that's my project this morning. On top of a few other things I did around here, little things, but that was the major one. The trim crew did show up. I haven't been over here since they got here. They didn't show up till like 10:30. The house guys, as you can see, wow. That's a little overkill in my opinion, but hey, that'll work. Concrete pad on to put my water tank and stuff in here. Then I might see if they'll put some heavy duty rebar right in this corner, because that's where the tank's going to sit. But just put it in the floor because it's going to have a lot of weight there. We need to go to Sisaket this afternoon. We got to go up and get some ceiling fans for the house, some exhaust fans for the bathroom, lights for the front of the house and the gate. And there's a couple other little things I need to pick up, but when we get done with that, we're going to meet Warren for dinner tonight. Warren and his partner. And the well is running. I had to prime the hell out of it this morning, but I did get it running again. Good morning from Paradise. So you can see my shirt's almost dry, I think. Hit the ground running this morning. We dug this hole yesterday, and I realized my measurements were, it was just an estimate, but anyhow, I had to back the hole up and then get it down to where the base of the post will be. So I got that dug out this morning, drove a piece of PVC pipe in the middle to the elevation I need the bottom of the post. You can't see it because it's under the concrete. As you can see, we went to town, got couple bags of concrete. I got the base poured in there. We just need to leave that set. And then we got the 1 meter post here that will set right on there later today. And then we'll throw concrete around the base of there once we get it squared up. And it will be square with that post and that post. Then we'll just pour a stem wall, if that's what you want to call it, from the top of here straight across to here. Right straight across here to hold the dirt back. And when it pours rain, it'll have to come around the end of the post. And hopefully by the time rainy season gets here, we will have a concrete slab poured across here at an angle so it doesn't wash all the dirt out. By tomorrow, we'll be ready to start putting rebar in here. I was hoping not to have a post like this, a notched out one, but it'll have to work. It's the same size here, so we'll just set it in there like it is and then form it right to the sides here and just fill this with concrete. And then there are probably 3 rows of rebar and then some verticals. Now we're just waiting for this concrete to set. A bunch of the house folks showed up this morning. Hunaban. Oh no, he was right there on that stand, but that's not him. He's back. Several of the other guys are back. They're working on this trim around the outside, decorative trim. We'll show you what that's going to look like here in a minute. And then a few of those guys are helping out here to get this thing prepped. We did put this column rebar in and put it in concrete this morning, and now they're building the beam rebar. And again, they're just going to put plates on top of these. So I assume they're just going to drop them over those 4 pins. Concrete should be the level of the strings, and they'll just cut those pins off. But as you can see, we've got a few people back. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So this is what they're putting in now. And Hunaban's putting these grooves in over there now. And those will get put in these columns back here. Will not get here because, as I said before, this one's getting dressed with rock like this, this, and this. And these. I think these just kind of somehow slide in there and get secured somehow. I don't know. I was told those go in there somehow. No electricians again. I don't know what's wrong with those pipes. They were supposed to be out for 3 days, and I think they've been out. 5 days now. See, this is what drives us Westerners crazy on these builds. If I knew what was going on, it'd be different. But it's just, I'm in the dark. I was told they're going to be out 3 days, and like I said, 5 days. And no word of when they're going to be back. So 1 up there, 2 across there to tie in there, and then get down across there. And I think these guys are done. So they should be able to finish up today, I think. That's going to be under the bench. There was no need in doing that. But they didn't know. Nobody told them. Motor fell out of the corner up there. That's not good. Falling out already that easily. They need to pack that shit clear back in that corner. We'll get them back up there before they leave. I'll point it out to this guy. The lady's doing that stuff. I'll point it out to him and he can tell her. It's good to have people working, but it's also more mess and more water pumped everywhere. But now it isn't as bad because, like I said before, we got the hose running in there. As long as there's not an army camp in here, they don't do too bad on water at night. And I'm going to have them leave those stems stick up out of those plates. Rather than put steel posts on there, if we leave those stems out, we might be able to just weld rebar to them and run straight up. Put concrete columns in them. It has been dark and gray all day like it's going to rain, but we got no rain in the forecast. And I'm just hoping we don't get any. At least until I get this little wall in here. We put that load there because we need to fill that corner when Paradise Village gets vacated. I want to redo all this shit too one of these days. It just won't make the priority list probably till next year, but take all this white shit off. And this is 1.5 meter mesh. I want to put 2 meter black mesh from here all the way down. And then take this white mesh, move it around, put it along the other end there. As the cows get through there, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, she's got a dead bean plant over there because the cows got through the fence and ate her bottom of her bean and killed it. All this countryside to eat, and they have to come right here to my house. She's feeding them. That's why they come over here. They're coming over here for a free meal. You're bringing them over here. And now he's going to come here every day wanting food. Okay, one more advantage to doing YouTube videos. And I'm totally aware of this, but totally slipped my mind, didn't think about it, but thanks to one of you subscribers. Somebody mentioned the pipe that we put out to the rice field just in case the septic on the gray water doesn't saturate everything. They said, hey, you might want to put something on the end of that because of the snakes. And I know that's a problem. For those of you that don't know, snakes will get in your pipes and they'll come back up and get in through the toilets and pop up and bite you in the butt. Somebody suggested that, and I was like, oh, okay, right, yep. I thought about putting a like a scratch pad or something like that in there, but instead I just went out and sourced a 4-inch cap, drilled a bunch of holes in it, plenty of water drain out, and I didn't do the other half because I'm lazy. But yeah, keep snakes out, at least the big ones anyhow. Slip that on right now. I'm not going to glue it on, so if it ever plugs up, I just pull the cap off, do what I need to do, and then slip it back on. If it becomes a problem with it falling off, I'll just put a screw through the side of it here into the pipe so it won't slip off. It should be hard enough by the end of the day that I can set this post down there, get it squared up, and throw some concrete on it before I leave tonight. So that is the plan. Probably take me longer to clean all the stuff up than it will to concrete it in there. Tomorrow we'll be ready to start putting rebar in it, and that's going to be pretty straightforward. I'll probably run 3 pieces across into that pole from this one, and then just some verticals, pour some concrete. That's going to be the hard part, mixing concrete. All right, on this highlight trim on these strips on the front of the house, I said we would wait and see, so we waited, and now we're going to see. Looks like they're cutting a groove in there, fill it with mortar, cement, whatever you want to call it, grout, and then they insert the strip in there and then just smooth it out. Looks pretty good. So now we know. So as I said, those will go across the front here, where they've got the grooves cut here. Oh, they already got this corner done over here. I haven't been over here in a while. And then they'll go around all these columns. That one will not, because that one gets rock. This one you can see they left it rough because it's got to take that rock later. All right, so we hit the ground running this morning. Threw some food in the pond for the fish. Immediately went to work on this wall over here. Got it all formed up. Started pouring concrete. Ended up a bag short. Run to town. Got it. Got back out here. Put the bag in there. There's a little bit of a bulge right here, so I set my butt right there. Push on with my feet. When I push on with my feet, it pushed this side out. And then when I let go, it came back, of course, and everything slumped down into the form. So, yeah, it's a little wider on that end. You win some, you lose some. They said they were going to pour concrete tomorrow. Oh, they're not ready yet. They still got to do all the rods across there. Pour it up to the string there. They'll put steel plates on top of those rods, and I'm going to ask them just leave the rods sticking up, because I might end up using those. But and then Duke will come back later on and pour concrete from that pad to here, probably 5 centimeters down. Make a walkway down through here. Bon was here today. He got all the trim done, the decorative trim around all the columns. There's Duke right there. I bet he's bringing some supplies for this gentleman right over here. I don't know where these electrical people are. They've been out for 6 days now. Talked to Duke yesterday about insulation in the ceiling. Asked him when he needed it here. He said to have it here on the 20th. So somewhere in a couple days, I'll probably go talk to him and see if I can go ahead and buy it and have them delivered on the 20th. I mean, apparently they didn't have supplies at the other electrical projects, so they come here for a couple days and then went back to there. I don't know. Power lines fell down today. They were yanking on it over there, trying to do something, and dropped 2 poles over here, so we had to redo those. My wife was over here feeding the cows through the fence yesterday. Next thing I knew, the cows had come up here and jumped the fence and went in there, so I had to chase them out. So we went into town to get that bag of concrete. We got back today, and there was a cow up here eating this grass right here. It jumped out, run up here and chased it out. I pulled up with a truck, and there was another cow down in the pond, the edge of the pond, eating. So we had to chase that out. So now they think it's a smorgasbord. So I had to go nail these boards together here, these woods, to lay across here to try to keep the damn cows out again. I haven't had problems with them for weeks. But yeah, this is Wonky Wall. It's supposed to be up flush with the top of there. Like I said, when I pushed on that, this side pushed out. And when I let go, it came back and it just dropped. So I just stopped right there. I should have did the same thing I did here down there. But I couldn't find any more of these long sticks at the time because these were still holding the wires up. But anyhow, if I'd have did this down here, I'd have never had an issue. But we'll get the forms off this tomorrow. It'll be the end of this story. It'll still be all right. It's going to be a little bit low on this end, obviously, because it was supposed to be flush with the top of that. So it's about, 2.5 centimeters low. It was a hot day. It was a mess. We worked on that concrete for Well, from the time I got here, I actually got started about 8:30, I guess, and got done at 2:30. So whatever that is, 6 hours. But it was hot, and it was hand mixing concrete. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's a bastard. Hand carrying buckets of water and rock. But it's done now. So Pitt said we do any more concrete projects more than one bag, we need to hire somebody.